Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of HTF Bets. I'm Riley Sheppard. On today's episode, we're talking a lot of March Madness, a lot of NFL free agency, and as always, our surefire picks of the week. So without further ado, HTF Bets starts now. Welcome back, Riley Sheppard, Weluka Costa, and Jeffery Laux. And joining us for March Madness is none other than Jack Hanzal. Now, Jack, we had a lot of good games, but if you had to pick one game from the first weekend of March Madness, what would it be?
I think it was the most anticipated matchup of the 8-9 games, and it was FAU versus Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
There was just so much shot making in that game, and plus you got coaches like Penny Hardaway, who's an icon type of thing. And FAU got out to a huge lead to begin, but Memphis came back, and from there on, it was even throughout. You got the crazy stuff at the end, and like I said, just so much shot making, so much skill in that game. So I'll definitely pick FAU.
Now, Jeff, you told me FAU was going to be one of your Cinderella teams. Have they disappointed so far?
FAU?
No.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
Not even close,
at
my
all.
boy.
And we're going to get into it later, but the Tennessee matchup, I like the Owls in that.
Yeah.
And it's not just my biases coming in. It's more of the matchup, the size, the statistics that align. I feel like FAU really has a hybrid team, has the big men, has the small guards that can get around. I think there's a lot of upside with FAU.
And as of course, Sweet 16 kicks off today. Now going over the 4 games we have today, and of course we have 4 games tomorrow. Starting off with number 7 Michigan State versus number 3 Kansas State. Luka, what do you like about that game tipping off at 6:30 today?
I like Kansas State taking the dub. I'm not gonna lie to you. As we see, the over/under set at -1.5 for Michigan. And then spread is at 1.5 for Michigan. Over/under at 137.5. I'm gonna take the over because Kansas State is one of those teams that gonna put the ball in the basket. And like, I know it's like, oh, you can't bet against Tom Izzo. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's December, January, February. Tom Izzo, we don't care. We're not rocking with Tom Izzo. We rocking with Kansas State. They're a likable team. They also have great players with Marquise Noel, the point guard. But I think the X factor for that team is Keontae Johnson. Did people forget? Like, he was at Florida last year, transferred over, and he's putting up numbers that are just as good. 17 points, 6.5 rebounds as a forward, which is pretty good in college to be rebounding the ball like that. He's only 6'6". He's not a big guy. He also shoots 51% from the field and 42.2% from 3. Those are efficient numbers, and I think he's going to be honestly one of the key factors in their win over Michigan State.
Jack, are we rocking with the Wildcats, or are we riding with March Tom Izzo?
I bet I know what he's going to say.
Tom Izzo will be right.
What did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I mean, for one, Kansas State does have that first-year coach. Tom Izzo is an experienced coach. Kansas State has that first-year coach. And one thing about Michigan State, they've been able to put up 70 points in both their games, and they've hit 6 combined 3-points in those 2 games.
Right.
During the regular season, Michigan State was a top 23-point total team, just total amount of threes they made, and top 5 in 3-point percentage. This team is a sharpshooting team, and they've been able to get that along. And they don't. Both teams don't have much size, but Michigan State also rebounds the ball a lot better than Kansas State. So I think with coaching, rebounding, and shooting coming along, this is prime for an upset.
No, I'm glad you touched on the 3-point shooting because that's what a lot of people like. Michigan State was known for their 3-point shooting going into March Madness, and they've struggled but still managed to find a way to win in both rounds. Jeff, sorry. Are you riding with the Spartans or the Wildcats?
I'm going to ride with the Spartans. Just like you said, it's about coaching.
And
that's why FAU is going so far. Dusty May is a credible coach. He was assistant head coach at UF. He knows what Billy Donovan put down there. Even without Kansas losing to Arkansas, they're without Bill Self. And I think that's what costs them at the end of the day is not having their main head coach drawing out the plays, drawing out the strategies, saying, hey, this is where we're seeing leverages in certain plays. This is where we're seeing, hey, we can hit the 3-pointers. I think coaching really does matter, and I could see Michigan State pulling it out.
Nah, I'm just going to take the Spartans just because I want Luka to be by himself.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll live with that. But I think the key is definitely going to be the guard play. We talked about it a little bit before the show. I think that's going to also be a very big factor in the game.
No, yeah, great guard play. Next matchup we have today is number 8, Arkansas, like Jeff mentioned, and the number 4, UConn Huskies. Jeff, tell me a little bit about this game.
So I'm excited for this game because everyone is counting the pigs out right now. And I think that Arkansas is really misunderstood. Beating number 1 Kansas 72-71, and it was a back and forth game. Kansas is draining threes. They were just rebounding over them. But at the end of the day, Arkansas had lower field goal percentage, lower three-point percentage, but they had more rebounds and they had more defensive intensity. And I think that's what really is going to propel them forth. I'm taking the number 8 seed Arkansas versus number 4 Connecticut. I think that the Huskies, Adama Sanogo, he's playing fantastic. But I think the Arkansas team knows how to play SEC defense, and they're going to come through.
Taking the over or the under at 139.5.
I'm taking the under.
Under?
Yeah, I'm under.
Jack, what do you think about this game? Do you like the over/under set at 139?
I would also take the under. They're both pretty good defensive teams, but I will take UConn
To cover?
What's the spread?
3.5.
Yeah, they cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think UConn covers fairly easily if it's 3.5. I think it's closer to an 8-9 point game, just because UConn does do everything better than Arkansas. If you just look at offense, defense, rebound, they have the size. They have more size than Arkansas. They can push the pace like Arkansas. They can slow it down, run good offense. And Musselman is a really good coach, but UConn has a national title winning coach as well.
They also average 12.2 turnovers a game.
Yes. Well.
And I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like it's been the story of the tournament. Like, I feel like turnovers have been, I think it's been a whole, like, for a lot of teams, turn the ball over low
The story
key.
of the tournament has been, like, just the lack of scoring, and they talk about the inflated balls, and they haven't been.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Come on.
I'm just saying, but UConn, they have been scoring the ball really well, and Arkansas, like Jeff said, they did get fortunate because Kansas was up like double digits at halftime against Arkansas, and when it came down to it, Kansas had the interim coach, not Bill Self, and it was a tide change from like the last 5 minutes on. So I think UConn does have the advantage here. I think UConn will win.
Yeah. No, and we have a couple of games in the nightcap, starting with our, I guess not really, but Florida team. We have number 9 FAU Owls taking on the number 4 Tennessee Volunteers. Jeff?
Look, I need to ask: is anybody riding with the Owls along with me?
I like it.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I hate Tennessee, so I want the Owls to win, but it just doesn't look likely. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna stick by what I said on the March Madness show. I'm taking the Owls because Tennessee, like I said, I feel like their wins were not that crazy. They beat Duke, was playing good, but they had been mediocre all season long, and they barely won their first game. They barely won their first game. I don't think it was I don't know.
Now the Owls, they haven't played a Power 5 team since November, but they have beaten an SEC team early in the year in the Florida Gators. Jack, do you think them not playing any Power 5 teams, any good competition, is going to play a factor in the Sweet 16 matchup?
No, they beat Memphis already. Memphis is good enough to beat a Power 5 team. Mm-hmm. Now, I would disagree with Luka. Tennessee did handily beat Louisiana. I know it came close towards the end, but someone that actually went to the game, we were about to leave with 5 minutes left because Tennessee was up by 14 with 5 minutes left, and Louisiana had a little run. The thing with Tennessee, though, is that their offense gets so bad at 3-4 minutes of the game. Their defense is number 2 ranked in the nation, but FAU have just such good shot making. They run a 4-guard lineup and they can make shots all over the court. So I like FAU shot making.
One of those guys is John L. Davis, had 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists in the round of 32. Do you expect another big game out of Luka?
Honestly, I want to say yes. I really want to say yes, but if we're being realistic, Tennessee has great defense. Number 2 in the country, like he said. It's going to be about FAU spreading the ball out between everyone, not just one player.
Yeah. No, Jeff, you have one more game that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, and that is San Diego State versus Alabama. And that's because I truly, truly believe Alabama is winning it all. They were winning my bracket, and my bracket's 44, 45% right now. It's not the worst, not the best. But I really think the Crimson Tide has it all. I feel like from last game, they looked crisp. They blew out Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and then they beat number 8 seed Maryland, 73-51. I think that Bama, Brandon Miller, all of those guys, they're just absolutely dominant at the forefront.
Yeah.
They're getting to the ball at the rim, and they're shooting a good percentage from the three-point line.
Now, yeah, and you touched on it. Alabama is also in both my brackets, I have Alabama winning it all, and they are the favorite. Looking at FanDuel at plus 330, followed by Houston at plus 410 and UConn at plus 850. Jack, are the Alabama Crimson Tide your favorite to win it all? Are they the safest bet, I should say?
I honestly think the safest bet would be UCLA.
Thank you! We agree on something! Let's go, Jack! Let's go! Let's go! Oh my, Jack, I love you.
They still have Tiger Campbell. They have Jaquez.
Yeah.
And then they lost Juzang, but then they get Amari Bailey, who is a lottery pick as well. That is a very good prospect. They're a deep team. They got their center back. They lost Davis, I believe his name was, all Pac-12 defensive team. But this team has a ton of experience, a ton of shot making, and really good defense. So I think they're the favorite.
The guys have answered my prayer. Finally, Jack, you said something. Let's go.
Guys, you're forgetting. Gonzaga is an experienced and a great team that has like leaders on it.
No, trust me, I know. Drew Time is like 48 years old. Tim has been on the team since I was born. I'm telling you. But listen, UCLA. So the spread said at -2.5 for UCLA. I think UCLA covers. 145.5 is the over/under. I think they're gonna take the over because you said two good high scoring, high power offenses. But yes, UCLA is the favorite. Go with UCLA. Alabama, they got shooters on the team. That's cool, whatever. But we rocking with.
No, it's gonna be really awkward when UCLA loses in the Sweet 16
and I'll live
to
with that.
Gonzaga, right?
Yes,
That's gonna be really awkward.
Okay.
Right. Now that unfortunately is all the time we have for some college basketball. Jack, thank you so much for joining us. But don't go anywhere because we have some NFL free agency talk with our guy, Phil. We'll be right back.
Welcome to HTF Hot Takes. I'm Johnny Jackson. We've got Emily Aaron to my right and Weluka Costa to my left.
Hello and welcome to our segment of Hot Ones. I'm here with Noah Kemper and Grant
Wheeler.
Yep, I knew that. Grant Wheeler.
Listen, I'm a Bulls fan, but I just can't ever argue against LeBron. I watched him my whole life.
I've been going back and forth with this debate for a long time. It's got to be Michael Jordan.
Whatever she wanted. I would wake up in a maid costume for Doja Cat.
Brutal.
Jeffery Laux, no question.
Richie, I would give it to Richie.
It is not Richie. It is not Richie.
No, it's Jeff.
Richie's pronouns are he, they, because he cannot be him.
What?
Oh, where's that?
I'm gonna have to also agree and say Jeff. He always is spiffy.
It might be Cameron. Cameron's had some good fits.
Out of the women, Riley always dresses really, really cute.
Oh, that went so awful.
It's basketball.
College football, I think, is the best sport to watch.
If you don't like soccer, it's because you suck at it.
I think college football is the best.
Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. Now we're talking some NFL free agency with our guy, Phil Powell. Phil, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Well, I'm good. We're talking some NFL free agency because the first week has been absolutely bananas. Now, Phil, I want to start with you. Who has been your biggest winner from the first week of NFL free agency?
Well, I'm a Dolphins fan.
Don't get started.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to be biased. I'm not going to be biased for my team. So I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. Now,
Yes, that's good. I like that. I like that pick.
yeah. So they just got DJ Moore, and they got a couple of first-round draft picks from the Carolina Panthers. And then also they beef up their defense as well by getting Tremaine Edmonds and T.J. Edwards at linebacker.
Yeah.
And also, what about Chicago is that they love their tight ends, and they also went to go get Robert Tonyan from the Packers. So they're one of my winners. Also, shout out to the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, sir.
They got the first overall pick. Most likely they're going to get a quarterback, which they desperately need. I'm sorry. Andy Dalton is not the answer. And then also they beef up their defense as well by getting Von Bell. They got Miles Sanders, who Christian McCaffrey left for 4 years, $25 million. I'm sorry, Luka. He's no longer an Eagle. No fly Eagles.
I know, man.
But it's okay. But nah, the Carolina Panthers really upgraded on weak spots of their team. So yeah, they're my winners.
Do we agree? Do we agree?
I agree to a certain point because I think that them trading off Roquan Smith last season and then bringing these two linebackers, no one equates to Roquan Smith's talent set, and I don't think their linebackers will play as good as when they had Roquan. As you can see, midway through the season when they traded him, their defense started to take a slight dip. But I think they're solid signings, and I do like what you said about DJ Moore. DJ Moore is fantastic, and he deserves opportunity.
Low key, I'm like, bro. Listen, y'all saw Derrick Henry requested a trade. Me and my boys just talking. Because look, the Bears have the most cap space. Like they can do whatever they want. If the Bears got Derrick Henry, that would be a crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that'd be such a contender. But I personally, I don't know. And also, I want to touch on Riley. Give your team some props. The Lions made some nice moves. I'm just saying.
I didn't want to get, of course, I love the moves the Lions are making.
Cameron Sutton, y'all got David Montgomery and C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
We're favorites in the NFC North for the first time in basically my entire lifetime. So I'm not trying to get too excited because, of course, I've been a Detroit Lions fan for 21 years. But I really like how they've been addressing their secondary.
Yes,
Cam
bro.
Sutton, your boy.
I know. Stop it.
I'm sorry. Montgomery. And I really do think David Montgomery is an upgrade from Jamal Williams. I do love Jamal, but I think Montgomery he's more versatile.
More injury prone.
Yeah.
He is. So I'm torn. I think
that's true.
I think it was a good move. They had to get rid of Jamal, but I like the moves they're making. And come on, we have 2 top 16 picks in the NFL draft. I like what the Lions are doing. But Jeff, who is your biggest winner?
My biggest winner will probably have to be y'all. Honestly, Detroit Lions.
Y'all
I was looking
moves,
at it.
bro.
It's like either Atlanta Falcons, y'all, or I mean, even the Bears, Dolphins are really solid. I think I'm looking more at the losers right now because there are some big losers. And one team I want to talk about in specific that might not make a repeat to the Super Bowl is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, thank God.
How are you going to go overpay for Jawan Taylor and let one of the best tackles in the league leave your team in Orlando Brown? I think he did a fantastic job throughout the playoffs, hunkering down that offensive line, and then they just let him walk. They're just like, here you go, you can go.
Are you trying to camera on Emily Aaron right now?
And I don't get it. I don't get it at all. They lost Juan Thornhill, one of their starting safeties. They're losing a lot of key players, but as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they can throw a 4 or 5-star JUCO player out there, and he can throw it to them. No. They'll be fine.
And not to cut you off, also another loser I feel like is looking at the Bengals. Like they gave up. I feel like they lost so many players on that offensive line. Like again, like each year it's like their problem, and then they bring one in and they lose another. They bring one in and they lose another. But exactly, like it's crazy.
Speaking of Jesse, the Falcons are my winner. I mean, like you said, or somebody said, I don't remember. The Lions and the Falcons. It seems like every other move they're making, and they kept Chris Lindstrom and another offensive lineman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but no, Jesse Bates. He's had
David
6.
Onyemata?
Yes.
Okay.
Jesse Bates had 4 interceptions last season. That was as much as 2 of the Falcons' secondary pieces. I mean, Jesse Bates, look, that is so. He's had 16 interceptions and 31 pass breakups over the last 5 seasons. Yeah, he had as many interceptions by himself as Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant. Shout out Richie Grant, UCF alum. But no, I mean that's a great addition to their 31st ranked secondary last season. No, do you like the moves that the Falcons are making, Phil?
Yeah, I think so. And there are speculations they're supposed to possibly go after Lamar Jackson.
That'd be tough. That'd be tough.
And it would be tough, but do they have the offensive pieces so Lamar could actually drive in Atlanta?
I mean, honestly, I think, in my opinion, I feel like anything is better than Baltimore, bro. Like Mark Andrews, like don't get me wrong, like yes, like he's that guy, but I just feel like it's just still more versatile over there. But
no, and that adds to my point a little bit is that I don't think they're done yet either. They still have the cap space and the pieces to kind of try to get a deal done with Lamar. And whether they want to stick with Ritter, which I think they should at least give him a chance. He didn't really have a chance last season. They signed Tyler Heineke to a deal as kind of his backup just in case Ritter doesn't work out. But do you think the Falcons are done with making moves?
No, I don't see it.
Do you see them trying to get after Lamar?
Maybe not after Lamar, but I just don't see them. Like you said, I don't think they're done. Like you said, they have the most cap space. They already made such a big push, and like their division is like not the best it's been in a long time. Like what, them Saints? I can't even remember right now. Panthers and so the only contender right now is the Panthers. So I'm not gonna lie, the time for the Falcons is now. To be honest, like
and they finished 7-10 last season. It wasn't a bad season by any means.
Exactly.
They held the 8th.
And they had some tough losses. They're bro. Like that's why y'all are in the same boat too. Like
guys,
I think y'all can really.
You know a team I'm pretty scared for?
What's up?
The Las Vegas
Raiders. Dude,
Jimmy. So how do you guys feel about Jimmy Garoppolo signing there for $67.5 million with $34 million guaranteed? How do you feel about Jimmy G getting that payload?
Overpaid.
It stinks in here.
Is Jimmy G really an upgrade from Derek Carr?
Of course not.
No? Is he really?
No, of course he's not. No, absolutely not. Jimmy G is garbage. Like, dude, I'm telling you, don't get me wrong, he had all those wins with the 49ers, but bro, we saw they put Brock Purdy in there. He did the same thing. Phil, your mouth is open right now. What you got to say?
He's garbage.
He's not good.
He's the league's best game manager.
Look at him, stepping out of bounds.
Let's say that.
No, Jacoby Brissett is that.
You're right.
Hey, Jacoby Brissett's not okay though.
No, look, Jimmy G has missed 30 games over the past 5 seasons or so. You know how many games Derek Carr missed since he was named the starter in 2014? 2. Derek Carr missed 2 games in the last decade. Jimmy G missed 5 games all of last season. The best ability is availability. And they signed Jacoby Myers to a 3-year, $33 million deal, which, look, I don't blame them. The wide receiver market in this free agency cycle is horrific.
No,
Jacoby Myers was probably the best option. But with Hunter Renfrow, they play very similarly in the slot. Like, what do you think, Phil? What do you think they're going to do with Hunter Renfrow?
I'm not sure. I hope they do resign him because he was a great piece, like him and Devontae Adams.
2 years ago,
I mean,
bro.
they did get rid of Darren Waller as well, but the Jacoby Myers signing, that was just, I'm sorry. They should have known not to sign him after what he did this past season. But he did the water board where he literally threw it to the other player.
Yeah.
Like,
It was to them. That's why they signed him.
Yeah.
It was to them. Bro.
That's why they signed him.
Bruh.
No, I think if I'm a Raiders, I will actually keep Hunter Renfrow. You know, he will be my number 2, Jacoby Myers
Yeah.
number 3, Devontae Adams number 1.
And this came out yesterday. Foster Moreau just texted for a positive for lymphoma.
Yeah.
So he's probably gonna miss a lot of this season, you know? So I don't know. I feel like the Raiders are definitely like they're so far in the mud. And that's so mild from the GM of the Raiders trading Darren Waller after he just got married to that dude, that's actually so horrible.
Now,
Yeah, right.
Now another big signing was Zach Allen, defensive tackle, signing with the Denver Broncos. I heard Phil audibly sigh over there. Phil? What do we think? Overpaid? 3-year deal worth 45.
Definitely overpaid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not proven in the NFL. I'm sorry, there's so many deep tackles out there that are proven and not making 3 years, $45 million. I mean, come on, like, I'm sorry. I mean, he's 25 years old. I mean, he's a great player. He is a great player, but I still think if I was a Broncos, I would sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal to see how he does, and if he performs great, then I would sign him to a max or something like this. But 3 years, $45 million. Now, let's say if he gets hurt, and what is it, $32 million guaranteed?
32,
yeah, and
15
million signing bonus. Like, come on, like, are we just giving away money? I think I'd go play D-top with him. You think so?
I mean, just to go replace Jermont Jones, who's a better player, who's been in the system for a while, just to replace him for Zach Allen, I think it was a bad pickup. And also, the thing about Zach Allen is that he was with the Cardinals, and that D-line, the linebackers there, they made his life way easier playing alongside J.J. Watt. That's what everyone's hoping for, is the J.J. Watt syndrome to go off into Zach Allen, and that's the next J.J. Watt. But I just don't see it. I think that, the only defining statistic is as a run stopper. Next Gen Stats ranked him second behind only Aaron Donald in 2022 in stopping the rush. That's the only thing. I think that sacks are not going to come as easy, things of that nature.
All right, so real quick, boys, the show is called Bets. We got to incorporate betting lines into every segment. Y'all know that. So I'm going to throw a curveball at y'all. What are the odds the Jets make the playoff this year with all the moves that they made?
Jags?
Jets. The Jets. I'm going to be honest. I have them second over Miami. Bro, I'm going to be honest. The Jets look so good. They have a young core. They just signed Nathaniel Hackett and the guy A-Rod and Alan Lazard. I'm telling you. I'm just saying.
Receiver 3.
I just don't like the Dolphins like that. And Tua's not going to come back and play the same way he's been playing. That's just all I got to say. So I think it's going to be Bills and Jets.
You sleeping, bro.
You sleeping. I was sleeping. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I love the Jets as a franchise. And I'm not going to lie. They're just an exciting team coming up right now. And Breece Hall comes back. Let's not forget.
Billy B is still in the division, sir. Are you forgetting that?
That's cool. I'm thinking Bills and Jets. What you think?
No.
Okay, so what's your division?
I think it's going to be, Bills. I think it's going to be Bills first, obviously, and then Dolphins will finish second, depending on if Tua comes back. I think it's going to be like the Broncos again. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, I think it's going to be a very unsuccessful season after someone just spent 20 years with one franchise, gets traded to another. I don't think it's as easy as people make it seem. I mean, being a quarterback, it's not easy. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for some NFL free agency talk. Phil, thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere because we have some surefire picks of the week coming up and our player with purpose. We'll be right back. Welcome back. In segment 3, we're going to open with player with purpose. Jeff, who do we have this week?
So we have the honorable, the man, Mohamed Salah. And the reason we chose this excellent football player and excellent human for this player with purpose of the week is because he honestly does so much for his community. He gives back in so many different ways, whether it's access to clean water, access to education. He aids a lot of the COVID risks that came in 2020, 2021. He put a lot of hospitals, gave them a lot of donation money. He was just a great human. In 2021, he received the recognition for his philanthropic efforts in his home village of in Egypt. And he gained an award for that because he is an actual inspiration. The actual Egyptian literacy rate in 2017 was 71.17%, a 1% decline from the year prior, and below the world average is 86%. What Mohamed Salah did, he went and put a girls' school in his hometown of Negreg, and he also put an institute out in Al-Azhar, and then he added, I believe 5,000 students to his program to make sure that they get the right education, that they have the access to water, they have things of that nature.
That's awesome. Jeff, thank you so much. And as always, Aaron Cabana, thank you so much for the graphic that you guys just saw. Jeff, I want you to now start with your surefire pick of the week.
All right, and we already talked about it earlier, but we're going to get back into it. FAU versus Tennessee, and I just want to talk about this matchup a little bit more because I think that FAU really does have a chance in this. And the reason why is because FAU has gone head-to-head with a Cinderella team, and then they beat a Memphis team that was everyone had Memphis winning over them. They had no chance for FAU. Now they're in Madison Square Garden for the Sweet 16. They're loving it up. They're going to play physical. They're going to play tough. And I think it's going to be a great matchup because the Duke-Tennessee match was insanely physical. Tennessee made sure the Blue Devils were uncomfortable. They made sure that their shooters could not get their shots off. And I believe that the Conference USA champions, the 30-3 FAU Owls, will beat Tennessee.
Now, and we all had some college basketball. I'm going with Gonzaga and UCLA, and I told Phil and Luca that they weren't going to like my pick. I'm rolling with the Zags. This is just such a great game. As always, we know 2021, Jalen Suggs hit that buzzer beater to take down UCLA. But I'm rolling with Drew Timme and the Gonzaga boys. The spread is set at UCLA's favorite by 2.5. I think they're going to cover. I'm not going to take money line in Gonzaga's favor. I'm just going to say they're going to cover, either lose by 1 or 2. Luca, what do you got?
Sleeping on your pick. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sleeping. So you guys know who to listen to. Mind you, record 5-1. Have the best record on the show. That's all I got to say. I even just went back and checked to make sure that my picks were right. Still right. So this is probably going to be my most debatable one. I'm going to take Kansas State over Michigan State. I said what I had to say. This is a team that has something to prove. Like I said, they've been doubted. If you watch March Madness show, which you guys should be, they were doubted over and over and over and over and over this season. Time and time again, people put no faith in them, and what if they've done nothing but go out there and win games that they need to. Don't get me wrong. Jack brought up some great points. Tom Izzo is a well-established coach, and Kansas State is a first-year coach. But I feel like that itself pushes them to want to win even more because the players want to win, not for themselves, for their coach. So Michigan is the favorite at 2 points. The over-under at 137.5. I'm going to take the over. I'm taking the Kansas State money line at plus 115. Noel's coming off a monster game. Keontae Johnson is also a great player for that team. So, yes, I'm going to take Kansas State Wildcats.
You heard it here first. You can listen to our picks.
Lock him in.
Listen to our picks whether you want to or not. Take mine at your own risk. I'm not doing too much. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this week's episode. For Weluka Costa, for Jeff Laux, and for our 2 guests, Jack and Phil. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We will see you all next week.
Jeff.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.